Welcome to the Fantasy Football Forge. My name is Steve, and I'm recording this ahead of time. There has been no news as of now. Early-ish, mid-morning on Saturday, I actually made that thumbnail. I think it was Thursday evening in preparation for this. And then yesterday, news came out that Dalvin Cook said that it was highly likely that he would be signing with the New York Jets. So I think that it's a very likely situation. Before we get to that, I don't want to put out a bunch of videos, so there's also news that Ezekiel Elliott will be going to visit with the New England Patriots, and that would obviously, I've mentioned this in the past, some concerns about Ramondre Stevenson. I actually moved him back in my most recent rankings. Actually, we can pull those up. Why don't we? Where are you, Ramondre? And that's 7, and he had been, I believe, my RB4. Moved him back if Ezekiel Elliott goes there. I think the impact's less than Dalvin Cook going to the New York Jets, which you will see shortly. I don't think it's the biggest impact in the world. As far as Ezekiel Elliott, I don't know that he would be high up on my draft list. Like, let's see. Just going off of the cusp here, maybe I would put Ezekiel Elliott somewhere probably ahead of Foreman, Roschon Johnson, maybe the back end of this tier. I think Ramondre is still the main guy there, but yeah, he would go back behind Derrick Henry. He's probably at the back end of this tier. Do I still keep him above Jahmyr Gibbs? Probably. I think the impact is less so than, that's a good sample. Like David Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, it's still going to be right around the back end of this tier. But that's going to bring us to Breece Hall, who I currently have ranked 12th. Neither of these running backs are really receiving backs, but they are going to take the receiving backs off of the field more than we might have been anticipating already. So Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, both great receivers out of the backfield. And so incrementally, that, if anything, just builds up my confidence for some of those receiving targets on those teams a little bit more than where it previously was. Last season, the Jets only ran on 25% of their first down opportunities. So I don't think this is going to be as clean of a cut as saying Dalvin Cook is coming in and he's going to be the first, second down back, and Breece Hall is going to be the third down back. So this season may open up like that. Early on in the season, I think some of my takes might look a little bit off, but as we go into the season, I'm not expecting this to be just a huge, massive blowing up of Breece Hall's value. And going back to that, the Jets only ran on 25% of their first down opportunities last season, a rather low amount. And I think that ultimately, given the choice, they would prefer to have the receiving threat of Breece Hall on the field more often than not, whereas I could see Dalvin Cook coming into being a vulture for touchdowns. That definitely hurts Breece Hall right there. Third down and short kind of guy, situational, and then also in a few games, if they see something in a defense where they say, basically we want to attack them up the gut, those could be some games where we might see it could be a true split for certain games based on certain game plans. I also think that overall the backfield work gets less spread out. All in all, what does this do to my rankings? I reduced Breece Hall's rushing work by about 10%, and I did a very minor change to his receiving work, did take a little bit of his receiving work off, and move that over to Dalvin Cook, as well as whatever receiving work I had for Israel Abanikanda. This could be very much an Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon type of backfield between Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. Although Dalvin Cook's, a lot more proven as a talent, but he is also a little older than A.J. Dillon. I think it could be a very similar kind of split, but I think the New York Jets is probably going to be the better offense, right? At least going into the season, that's how we should be expecting things. As far as Dalvin Cook goes, I gave him a 40% of the rushing work for the team and a 6.5% receiving share out of the backfield. I had him sitting prior to this right at running back 38, kind of expecting, where he'll go. I think the highest ceiling for him was Miami. Said that in a previous video. New York Jets is probably the second best destination for Dalvin Cook. So I am going to move him up a little bit from running back 38. Question is how high? and I moved him up to RB32. And that's where modern day me, three and a half weeks later, is gonna hop right in here. So I saw this news late. I was in the middle of working on stuff for Thursday's video, just zoned in on that. I missed the messages on my phone alerting me to the news. So some of my takes aged well enough. A couple of them I didn't agree with. So I went through, I cut through the stuff. I think I agree with pretty much everything for Ezekiel Elliott's news with Ramondre Stevenson. And so Ramondre, I think I cut out a portion. I will probably push him back at least behind Derrick Henry. That's for sure. As far as Breece Hall, I was much more optimistic at the time of filming that video on Breece Hall. Basically the feeling was Breece Hall, the feeling on Breece Hall was what the current feeling is for Javonte Williams, which was very optimistic. It's looking less and less optimistic, and seeing the money aligned with Dalvin Cook's name and everything feels like it's kind of serious, like they might not have the confidence in Breece Hall coming back being healthy. I thought it would be like a 1 to 3 week kind of ramp up for him. Maybe we're looking like it's not until week 5 or 6 until we're really seeing Breece Hall getting the full workload that they want him to be getting. So, with that, I am going to be moving Breece Hall back to... Before I say that, let me agree with where I just ended. I am going to stick with, for now, putting Dalvin Cook back at... I'm going to keep him one spot ahead of A.J. Dillon. He's going to be in this area. I could make an argument for putting him up ahead of David Montgomery, James Cook. That's about the limit. So a high-end running back 3. And as far as Breece Hall goes, I'm going to be dropping him out of this tier, probably at least behind Alexander Mattison. So RB19, I still have to think on it a little bit. I haven't had time to just think about it and make the final decision here, but he'll be going behind Alexander Mattison, ahead of DeAndre Swift, probably keeping him ahead of James Conner at least as well. So 19 or 20. RB 19 or 20 for Breece Hall it is. Let's wrap that up. I just wanted to add up the new... I don't think there's anything else to go over. So peace out, enjoy, have fun, go outside or something. Bye-bye.